Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of my All the Mods 10 survival single player playthrough. So something unfortunate happened. My recording got corrupted, or it didn't record. And I found the reason was because Minecraft was full screen, which worked for the previous episode, but for some reason is not working for this episode. I'm gonna try and find a fix for that, because it's unfortunate because I got through a decent amount of stuff, and kind of nothing to show for it. So I'm gonna try to recap kind of what we're doing, where we're going, and we'll be recording this episode not in full screen. Again, hopefully I'll have a fix for that soon. So basically for this episode, the whole point is to go to the Nether and Nether preparations. And so a couple of things I did. The first thing I did was in between episodes, just make the base look nicer. Got some massive deep slate bricks, as well as found a dark forest biome for these dark logs, which kind of like reinforcements or braces for the underground portion. What we did though is I did find a slime spawner when I originally was exploring for the bees and the meadows biome over there, and we got one single slime ball to make the packing tape, which is just a slime ball and a piece of paper. And so what we did there is I just moved some of these chests. I couldn't move all of them, or I could if I broke them, but then items would pour out. And so the hope was to get a cardboard box to, go over and move the slime spawner. Also have plans for when we go into the Nether to move a blaze spawner. And so basically for the cardboard box we needed sawdust. There's 3 different types of sawdust. The first one's through immersive engineering, which is through a sawmill. So I just don't think that we have the resources available to us to really make this one. The next sawdust that there is the mechanism sawdust through the precision sawmill. We could make that, but I don't really like this one because it's only a percentage chance to get the sawdust for most items. We could do sticks and get a guaranteed sawdust through that, but the way that I went was with the productive trees sawmill, which will give you a guaranteed 2 sawdust per craft. And to make that is just some planks and some iron with a stone cutter, which is just iron and stone. So we had that over here, and we made a couple of cardboard boxes. The next thing we did was made an armored jetpack. So if we're going to the Nether, I did want to kind of upgrade armor and gear, especially if we're fighting the wither skeletons and blazes. And so that was just the jetpack with some bronze ingots, which you can make the bronze dust, and the crafting recipe was just some copper and tin dust. We did make some more steel as well, and so I haven't made the alloy kiln yet. I did it in a more, inefficient way than setting up any infrastructure for it. You can actually craft the steel compound for the modular force field system, which is just 4 coal and 1 iron per steel. So it is, again, a little bit less efficient than others, which just takes 1 coal, 1 iron to make steel. But it's a good way to just kind of start off and make that. And so we made the armored jetpack to have some better armor while fighting and flying around. We also made a crusher and an osmium compressor. The crusher is just the steel casing with some basic control circuits and lava buckets, and then the osmium compressor is just another steel casing, some advanced alloys and circuits with some empty buckets in the steel casing. And so with that, we made some refined obsidian ingots, which if we go and check the basic armors tab, it's actually better than AllTheMods10 armor. The chest plate has plus 12 armor, plus 5 armor toughness. It's better than diamond netherite, so very easy and simple, kind of like honestly early game armor that's just like so incredibly good. I'm surprised they haven't nerfed it yet. So again, I kind of did all this in recording. Unfortunately, again, did not capture the recording, which I am very disappointed about. I'm going to try to find a fix for that so we can record full screen. Again, I don't exactly know what I did or what's going on. So we'll fix that for a future episode. The one thing that I am, again, super disappointed about that wasn't captured was when we went in, we actually spawned inside of a Nether Fortress. I was talking about how it is sometimes difficult with all the different biomes and all the different structures that come with AllTheMods10. It is sometimes difficult to find a Nether Fortress. So super lucky. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. This has to be, I don't think this has ever happened to me before. That is crazy. We can put the seed, so this is the randomly generated seed that occurred. If you would like a really nice Nether Fortress spawn, you can come to the coordinates at the bottom of the minimap here. Another thing we made was a magnet. I really like this. You can make it by just some iron, ender pearl, lapis, and redstone. And you can actually put it in your bobble slot and make a hotkey. So I have it for X to turn it on and off. And so now that we made the refined obsidian armor along with the armor jetpack, I could just go ahead and make the full set here with the chest plate, even though we probably won't be using this with the jetpack itself, but we can claim the quest reward, which is just a little bit of experience. In between episodes too, I did make the windmill, and so yeah, again, I am a little bit bummed out that we did not get the recording for basically this episode, but hopefully the explanation of everything was sufficient, and maybe this episode we can just focus on kind of tackling the nether, getting some spawners our way. And so I'm pretty sure that covered just about everything. I do quickly want to make a pipe wrench from the pipes mod. This is going to be helpful in the future, though I will not be using it currently. And so, yeah, we can, at this point, I believe, just go ahead and head into the nether and grab some blaze rods. Now, these blaze rods are going to be helpful for setting up an applied energistics network. With these blaze rods, we can just make better power generation, because what we have now is decent, but it is not going to kind of satisfy an AE2 network. So I'm just going to make a little waypoint here, just so that we, if we're exploring, we can kind of find a good way home. And so looks like there's this tower here. Get these guys off, don't really care about killing them. The magma walker, I think I already have one of those, so we can Ignore that, and here we go. Here's the blaze spawner. We can go ahead and put a cardboard box on this. Just go ahead and fly all the way up here, eat some bread. And we are going to take this cardboard box back with us. So, as you saw, I just right-clicked it. And it covered. And so, if we go ahead, guys, break this. Yes. Woo. Let's see here. Got a little codex entry, some nether bananas. Backpack, so didn't even need to make one from scratch. Let's go ahead and kill these guys. And we got ourselves a blaze rod. Magnet is the reason, part of the reason again why I like the magnet, just because it is so helpful with in the nether, especially with all the lava everywhere and fighting while flying with the blazes, just to go ahead and pick up anything that drops, which again is super helpful. So go ahead and loot some of this stuff, but I think that's about all that I really wanted to get from the nether. There's actually another blaze spawner over there. And so we'll go ahead back. I'm going to probably make a basement here. And with this codex entry, we haven't really talked or gotten into ours, Navu. But basically it's a spell mod, it's a magic mod. If we look at ours, there is a lot of kind of glyphs and potions that come from it, a lot of just different magical stuff. There is a spell book that lets you cast those, and if you right click this, you can actually unlock specific, I think they're called glyphs. Let's see, what are they called? Let's see, Ars Navu. As the quest book loads, typically for me, every time I first load in and click a different chapter, it will do that little glitch. Yeah, they're called glyphs. So all these different glyphs that you can create from a scribe table. But if you right-click one of those, it will just automatically unlock the glyph for you, which is, again, super helpful. So we'll kind of go ahead and make this our little nether chest. I'm going to grab 2 ender pearls here. And we don't have a lot of wool, so I'm going to grab some shears. And from the map, I can see that there are a couple of sheep over here. Let's see, there's one. And get some more wool. We need 16 in total. Let's see, there's another one over here. I don't want to kill these guys because I do want to get into... What the heck is this? Productive Bees Amber. Give some relief to the trapped mob. Contains a pig. Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen amber before. That is cool. We'll keep that, and I'll kind of look at that maybe off camera to get my bearings with that. But we'll go ahead and keep that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and find a couple more sheep to shear. Get some wool, and we'll be back with what I want to make. And we got all of the wool that I needed to make some white elevators. And so with these, just as a demonstration purpose, if I put 2 of them directly vertical from each other, if you shift or jump on them, you can go between floors very, very quickly. And so what I want to do is go ahead and just make a little basement area, a little underground area like the dwarf that I am, and just carve out a decent space, and in one of these corners we will put down the blaze spawner and go from there. Now that we have a nice little area cleared out, we can place the elevators down, and if you just shift again, just go straight down. I'll definitely am going to light this up here, and I think for the time being we'll just place the blaze spawner down here. Now you place the cardboard box down, shift right click to empty the cardboard box, get the achievement moving day. And in this mod pack there is a mod for the spawners. I forget exactly, it's called Apothic Spawners, and with this you can kind of make the spawners a whole lot better. So in order to start, we will hopefully just not have these hurting us. Let's go ahead and put the cardboard box back on so that they can spawn. But you can basically make these spawners a lot better. You can hit them with right-click them with gas tiers, you can right-click them with clocks, you can do sugar, all to make them spawn faster. You can make it so they don't have AI, that it's redstone controlled, so we'll be getting more into that as we progress through the mod. But so there's a lot of things that we can do with these blaze rods, or that I want to do. The first thing is to make some ethereal glass, because with that glass we can go through we can make a little wall here, and then we can go through, but the blaze cannot go through. And so just to make the blaze rods that we have more efficient, instead of just crafting them and getting 2 per, we can crush them and get 4 per craft. And so we'll get a few ender pearls here. Again, I'm just going to start off with 2. Think I need actually 3. And get some glass here. And make some ethereal glass. And we can make this ethereal glass tinted as well. So if we take 4 amethyst shards with the ethereal glass, we do get 2 tinted ethereal glass. And so I will be doing that later, just so that no light comes in, at least for the time being. And so we can walk through here, but from the description, it's just not solid to players, it's solid to everything else. So we'll go ahead and take that off, let them go. And the other thing I do want to get into is, and we'll go ahead and collect all of these quest rewards. So we'll go ahead and put these away, and then come back once I have some things to upgrade the spawner with. So after getting some items to make this spawner work a little bit better, I kind of realized we don't really have a lot of things to, well, make the spawner better. But if you right click on the monster spawner from Apothic Spawners, you can see all of the different items that can help make this better. So the first thing I want to do is make this redstone controlled. So if you see, the little guy in there stopped twirling, stopped spinning. So now if we place a lever on this and turn it on, the spawner will be on. If it's off, it will be off. We can also place a soul lantern here to make it so it doesn't require any form of lights to activate. So I could place a torch down literally on top of it, and it will still work. It'll still spawn. Alright, get out of here. So the couple other things that I did want to just go ahead and put on it are some sugar and clocks. We can also put fermented spider eyes to do a +2 spawn count. Put some wool on it to make it silent. I also might do that. The one thing I really like is the chorus fruit, which means it has no AI. So they'll just spawn in just facing, standing still, not doing damage, or not able to do anything, really. But the sugar makes it a -10 minimum spawn delay, and the clock is a -20 maximum spawn delay. So if you press control over the spawner, you can see the stats, I guess, for the spawner. So you can see the redstone control and ignores lights at the bottom there, the spawn range, activation range, max entities spawn count, and then the min and max spawn delay. And if I right click this with the sugar, this is in ticks, so I believe it's the minimum spawn delay is now going to be 70 ticks. And if we right click with these clocks, the maximum spawn delay is 640 ticks. So I do need more clocks, which means more gold, in order to bring that down a little bit. So let's go ahead, and I think I'm just going to use up the rest of my gold for this. I can go mining for some more later. To bring this down, we can also put gas tiers on it to increase the number of entities that spawn. And the Wither Star, it ignores players, so this will follow the standard rules of a mob spawner, that a player has to be near it for it to spawn. But if we put another star on it, it will just ignore players. I can be a million blocks away and it'll still work just as long as I have the area chunk loaded. And so the next thing I do want to start getting into is POWAH. So if we look at this quest book, and I'll go ahead and collect the reward for the blazes and for the food and farming for the sugar. And if we go down to POWAH, you'll see just this kind of large wall of virtually all the items in the mod. And how this mod works is going to be everything is made through the energizing orb. And so you kind of put that down with the energizing rods over top of it, and you can craft a lot of the mod's different tier-based items. And typically what I like to do, which is why I wanted to start getting blaze rods sooner rather than later, is I do like to just go straight to blazing. It's fairly simple. All you really need is just a blaze rod to turn into the blazing crystal. And so we'll kind of work our way through this mod. We do need a lot of coal, clay, and blaze powder as well. So let's grab a stack of coal, grab a stack of clay wherever it is. I cannot wait until we get AE. It needs to happen sooner rather than later. And I think if we're going to do a full stack, let me grab just 2 full stacks of coal. And let me crush the rest of these blaze rods down. And as I'm doing that, I will also get more blaze rods too while I'm at it. And we'll come back with the setup for POWAH. Now we got some more blaze rods and some blaze powder. It's going to be time to make some of the dielectric paste, and we are going to need a lot of this. So I'm just going to go ahead and again just use everything that I have to make that, and we're also going to need a lot of dielectric rods. And let me see, so I made some iron bars previously, and again we're just gonna need a lot of both of those things. And we will just make a stack of each of those for now, but the next thing is the dielectric casing, which I will need some more iron for. Go ahead and just make some, let me see, of the platinum here. And because I ran out of my ore hammer as well. We'll go ahead and make the casing, just one of them, and we will make the energized orb. And so, like I said, this is the main, I guess, crafting component for everything in POWAH. A couple of things that I don't think I mentioned for the episode of what we did is I did make a backpack and just went ahead and made a diamond backpack. The backpack is made with some string leather and a chest, and you can upgrade it all the way to netherite tier, and each tier will give you more and more space. I really like the sophisticated backpacks mod, just so just have a lot more inventory space to work with, especially while exploring. The other thing about the sawmill, and part of the reason why I went with the productive tree sawmill, is in comparison to the mechanism sawmill, this one does not require power, just requires some time and patience. And so let's go ahead and just quickly make another ore hammer. And I'm hoping that we might not get to where I want for this episode. However, just go ahead and crush up all this and start smelting. So if we follow the POWAH quest line, we're also going to need some energy cables as well as some energizing rods. For the energy cables, I think I'm just going to go straight to the basic energy cables here. But I do need more iron. And now that we got some more iron, we can make a couple more of these casings. I'm just going to get 4 for the time being. We can make some of these basic capacitors, and I'm just going to use the rest of the iron for that. And then make some cables, which we need more and more iron for. And again, we're just going to go straight to the basic cables. I'm not going to waste resources on the starter cables. But we, again, go straight to the basic and also the basic rods. But we do actually need the starter rods to get to the basic. And we can put these basic capacitors, and we can make them tiny capacitors. So I think I want 8 of them total. Yes. Because I do want 4 of these. Perfect. And then we can go ahead. I did pick up some quartz along the way. Quartz blocks. And we can turn these into the basic rods. But we do need more of these casings to do so. So make 3 more of these. And just start crafting the basic rods. Now, you can have a max or total of 9. Basically, the more of these rods you have, the faster the craft will go. And so I think just for the time being, until we get a better power situation going here, is I am just going to kind of pull this over and put the rods underneath, and so you can see they will start filling up with power. Max of 160k FE per tick. And with this, if we grab some iron and gold, so let's place more of these rods here, we can start crafting energized steel. and so this is for the next tier of upgrades. And before we make anything else, I would like to just grab some blaze rods and again place them, and you can see it's going at about 10% per tick. We probably are losing a lot of power here, but then we can make the blazing crystals as well. And what we can do with these is craft the thermo generator, and going from starter to basic to hardened to blazing. And so this thermo generator is just a great source, in my opinion, of passive power generation. There is some other power options for POWAH, the Ferninator and the Magmatter. But you do have to supply this one with lava and the Ferninator with coal or wood, or anything that you put in a furnace to power. So this one, it just requires a heat source. And there are 3 different types of blocks, as you can see here, that you can place this over: a magma block, lava source, or a block of blazing crystal. And each one of those will upgrade basically overclock the thermo generator for the max amount of power it can produce per tick. And so we're going to start crafting those after we get probably some more gold with energized steel. So now we got some more iron and blaze rods and everything else. I'm going to make some more tiny capacitors, and we're going to make these thermo plates. I believe we need 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so that is the perfect amount. And we can start with making the starter thermo generator. And we will continue our way up through the tiers. So again, I just like to go ahead and get the blazing tier, since we have access to it at this time. And so if you put 2 of these basic capacitors together, you can get a large capacitor instead of a teeny capacitor. And you can turn these into all the different types of capacitors. So we're going to first need the hardened capacitor, which is just the energized steel, to then make the, again, thermo generator hardened. And then we can make another basic capacitor, another large capacitor, and make the blazing tier. We are going to need some more blaze rods for that. And now we can make the next tier, the thermo generator tier, as well as make the block of blazing crystal. So I think that's where we're going to end it off for this episode. This episode was a little bit more of a disappointing episode for me, just because of the whole recording thing. But hopefully next episode will be a little bit better, and we can definitely get into more power generation, as well as getting this moved, so that probably down under here is where we'll make our better power generation, and maybe even start with AE2 for next episode. So really quick before signing off, as I was saying, we can make the block of blazing crystal, place this over top, and if we do have to supply it with water, but we can actually move this over here just for demonstration purposes, fill this with water, and we can see it's up 280%, producing 420 Fe per tick. So a lot better than all of this combined, basically. So again, that's where we're gonna end the episode for now. I'll probably do some mining and, again, more base renovations off camera, and try to look into the full screen recording, see if I can fix that. But hope you guys enjoyed, and look forward to seeing you guys next episode.